Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. We're taking a quick look here at Fetch.AI. Once more, got a request from this one from, of course, Jeremy. I think a couple of other community members. I don't recall exactly who, but getting more and more as the days progress. So either way, quick congrats to our community for not getting liquidated yesterday. Awesome stuff. We had a one-off, of course, but just it's because they added their margin. Nothing crazy. That was more independent. But with our signals, Chainlink took 35% on the short, SCI 60% on the short. We missed out on our opportunity for Gala, of course. Just missed the entry by a very small fraction, but hit all three targets there. And of course, previously Solana 118%, ICP 52. It's been a good profit the last 48 hours for us. But man, that whole reset button from yesterday was interesting. I hope some of you had some nice limit orders that got filled. We're going to talk about big picture and best practice here. Again, if you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. Don't forget to hit the like button. Greatly appreciate that. Helps the channel. I can tell you that unfortunately, YouTube is terrible about recommending my stuff. And more people deserve to have a fair opportunity to become better traders, right? So highly recommend, they check it out, obviously. So if you know somebody, feel free to pass it on. I'm going to reverse the fibs here just to get us perspective on current resistance levels, because today's candlestick hasn't closed yet. So you can do that essentially before the candlestick closes, because this is based on previous fib levels. We could also go from this most recent high to the most recent low. That also works very similar. But I kind of prefer this just based on it being on the daily time frame. So we'll take a look at that. And just to clarify, daily time frame still bullish. Of course, we're honoring this ascending trend line. We probably will be for some time. And we're still over 70 in the RSI. Stochastic swinging up once more. Money flow index coming back up. There is literally no reason to short against this coin. I recognize that you probably had some luck yesterday if the price came down and you were shorting, you were in a short, but that was kind of a one-off, right? That shouldn't have happened, truthfully. That was just a bunch of miners selling all their position. Coincidentally, what was it? Meta was down for a couple of hours. I wish that would just be a permanent thing, but that is a conversation for another day. So let's take a look at the 4-hour time frame here. We have this perfect bull flag type of pattern. Again, near perfect, rather, all right? Not quite perfect with this kind of garbage here that in place, but minus that little caveat there, that shouldn't have happened. The price continued higher to break through its resistance and moving upwards from here. The reason why that occurs is because there's a lot more selling pressure at this specific resistance level. Once the bears give up, the bulls take over and they just push right straight through. So it's kind of an interesting little phenomenon, but it's a very consistent, and if you can find those patterns in trading, they're more likely to break out and you have higher success. We have a MACD convergence here, of course, looking good in that sense. We have 70 on the RSI RSI at 70 plus. Hypothetically, this is going to be a continuation, right? Basically just means that you do not want to sell until the RSI comes back down, right? So whenever the RSI comes back down, that's a consideration for a sell signal. For me, anyways, that works out very well on the 4-hour and the hourly time frame. So hypothetically, depending on the length of your position, how long you plan to hold, that would essentially work. Money flow index is higher than the RSI. That implies the price action is much more likely to stick around. Because you think about it this way, relative strength index kind of gives you an indication of overbought versus oversold, right? So if it is overbought right now, the logical thing to do is to try to consider selling. That's why people get destroyed trying to short situations like this, because they're going on a lot of funky indicators that people tend to use. I don't know why they use like a million indicators. Literally 2 or 3 per time frame is all you need, folks. But the reason why RSI is good is because when it's over 70, it typically continues until it doesn't. And when it hits RSI on the way back down, that's when you have a lot more success as far as profitability versus just trying to sell as soon as it hits that resistance. Once it breaks, it continues to run, it goes for a while. But how that flows into the money flow is the fact that the money flow index is basically the amount of money flowing into the coin. Okay? If you have more money flowing into the coin than the perception of it being overbought, it's going to continue to sustain itself and go higher. So the probability it's going up from here is greater. There's no other way around it. Again, probability, folks. That's what we're dealing with here. In fact, let's go ahead and reverse these fibs here, or just basically create some new fibs here, just so you can kind of see the other perspective, because this does give us good indication, letting us know we are overextended. There's no doubt. 1.618 fib, that's a very common resistance level. So I wouldn't be surprised if the price does pull back a little bit, but truth is, we're not even close to overextended, right? So all this put together implies the price should go further up and that we are not in a bad place right now. Okay, now let's take a quick look. I forget, this is price discovery, right? So again, for the most part, we're going to be continuing further. Let's look at the hourly, since we don't have any previous support levels to rely on. We want to recognize too that this is a pretty sharp angle, right? So a lot of times you can draw out a trend line to kind of see roughly where that looks like. Now, You can use candle wicks, of course. That's generally an okay thing to do. But a lot of times candle bodies give you a bit better of a estimate. So I'm just going to go with this candle here. We can see higher low, higher low, higher low. So when we break this descending trend, essentially dropping below the 20-day SMA, that's when we want to we should pause for reflection and to essentially understand that we should be able to, and we should be in a position to likely consider taking profit. My speculation is once the RSI on the 4-hour time frame comes closer back down to 70, we'll be in a position where the price action is intersecting with that moving average. They usually run hand in hand. So I'd say pay attention to those two things moving forward, see what works best for you. In my experience, I like them both, but at this point, there's zero reason to consider shorting. We have like 9 out of 8 reasons, though. Let me make it easier. We have 11 out of 10 reasons to consider going up than going down for a long position. Now, what I want to infer here is that you use a stop loss every time you trade. You adjust the stop loss higher as you take profit. You take profit as the price goes up, and you don't get super greedy because that's where you leave money on the table. So just some friendly advice. You're not taking profits, you're not trading. If you think that you're an amazing trader and you're just literally holding on for dear life the entire time, that's not trading. That's just investing. And that's okay. Investing is perfectly fine. That's what you want to do, spot bag all day. But if this is a leverage trade for you, you should be taking profits because you're going to get eaten alive on fees in the long run if you don't. Granted, this coin's up a lot. You probably wouldn't take a loss, but it could be substantially more than you need to. Okay, so we're just going to pay attention to this trend line, kind of see how this 0.618 fib level responds. $2.41 as a rough estimate is the estimate there. Actually, let's tighten this up a little bit, more like 240. There we go. Just kind of giving us perspective on where it's at, right? So that could be the new pivot point, but generally speaking, honoring this ascending trend line is effectively what we're looking for here. We break down below that, we'll have a different conversation, likely be a consideration for taking profit. Between now and then, I would say let it run, adjust your stop loss higher as you go into profit. Simple as that. Other than that, quick little heads up, I requested Fetch.AI be added to Bitunix. It should be soon. No KYC or VPN Required exchange, phenomenal exchange. Highly recommend utilizing them. They have excellent benefit rewards if you use my link to register, and we have a trading competition coming up here. As a matter of fact, I think it's kicking off today. So if you missed today, no worries. You'll be eligible for the next one just by registering. Hope you have a good rest of your day, though, folks. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow if you haven't already. We'll see you in the next one.